Weekdays at 4 on Fox 20.
And you can save $20 on your first order when you try pickup or delivery. Kroger, Texas proud since 1955.
It's time for today's Face-Off on Fox Soul. Challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adams ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face-Off on Fox Soul starts right now.
I want to be very careful with my words right now.
Okay.
Because this is a really touchy subject for me.
Why?
I love that kid and his family. But the way some of these other immigrants are getting treated in our country right now is a travesty and a disgrace. I think there's a difference between amazing immigrants and criminal immigrants. And I think what's going on in our country, what we're doing to some of these amazing immigrants is really unfortunate and it's really sad. And that's a great immigrant story. We have a lot of great immigrant stories out there who their stories need to be told, but some of the stuff that's happening to immigrants in our country right now is really unfortunate and it's really unfair. But immigrants built this country.
In this round, here's Quan LX.
We just witnessed Hall of Famer, iconic great power forward Charles Barkley out of Auburn University, drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers, became a legend in Philly, was traded to the Phoenix Suns, became a legend with the Suns, and finished his career in Houston with the Rockets. Charles Barkley is an iconic basketball figure in this country, very well known, and a very well known black Republican, and also a supporter of Donald Trump. To hear him come out now, and I agree with the things that he said, and it's rare I agree with Mr. Barkley, but I agree with him in this sense, what he said about immigrants being treated unfairly in this country, the amazing ones, the good ones. Most of the people in this country are shocked and appalled by how the Trump administration is prosecuting the removal of immigrants in this country. Many in America, especially a lot of independents and some conservative Democrats who voted for him, trust and believe what he said was that we would only go after the criminals, the bad ones, for removal. But we later learned and we later watched ICE agents following parents from school, pulling them over in front of the school, arresting them in front of their children, and these people have no criminal histories. We watched ICE agents follow school buses and waited till the parents came out to pick their kids up at school buses to capture immigrants who were here illegally with no criminal history. We watched college students, we watched police officers, even a fellow ICE agent himself be arrested by ICE, and these were good law enforcement officers, good American citizens, not criminals. We watched them lie and said a man was a gang member, a member of MS-13 and the other little Nicaraguan gang that's in Nicaragua and El Salvador, and said he was a part of that gang, etc., and that's why he was deported and put in a prison overseas in a South American country that treat their prisoners awful. Then a federal judge ruled that it was a lie and demanded his release, and now he's back in America with his family. Charles, we watched doctors come forward and said they witnessed ICE agents stalking out emergency rooms looking for illegal immigrants. That was nothing of what the Trump administration promised the American people that they would do with enforcement against these immigrants who were illegals here, that were criminals and the dangerous ones. So a man like Barkley, who supported him, is coming forth and speaking out that what we're witnessing now is not what many of his own base even agreed it should be handled and prosecuted this way against immigrants.
See, I disagree with the idea that Trump hid the ball on his extremist positions on illegal immigrants in this country, right? And we're not even allowed in many places to say the word illegal immigrant because we get the, as you've said in the past, no one's illegal on stolen land nonsense, right? As if migration and nation building hasn't gone on throughout the history of mankind. I think Trump and the top core group of his advisors have always sought to deport millions, just like I think the leadership of the Democrats in the last decade have sought to import millions to create a permanent electoral control by the Democratic Party, and those are all at war with the American people. Media, this station, many stations have sold the idea that sanctuary cities were this necessary thing, right? That, we have to have sanctuary cities to protect migrants. I mean, you just went on this impassioned plea about it. But the truth is, the paradigm created by sanctuary cities were just, hey, when you are a non-citizen and you commit an awful crime, we're going to make sure you don't get deported, right? Which has been horrible. And the overwhelming majority of Americans do not support it, but it keeps getting force-fed to us by the Democrats and the media, right? Everyone is in agreement that if you commit a victim crime, or you put Americans in danger with criminal behavior, or you're stealing stuff, you should get deported. And if you go anywhere in the world outside of the West, when I mean the West, I mean Australia, America, Europe, right? Where we're being force-fed the notion that people should be able to enter illegally and do crazy stuff and stay, because it might be bad for them if they go, right? We're being force-fed the notion. But if you go to Asia, anywhere in Asia, a poor country, a wealthy country, and you commit a crime, you're going to get a pretty severe punishment, and you're going to be forced to leave. And the Arabic world, same math, right?
Well, you may leave with one hand.
Africa, the same math.
He may leave with one arm.
Right. So why is it the West that we have to put up with the criminals, right? Why is it progressivism to be told, oh, well, he just got a DWI and hit somebody.
But a man like Charles Barkley is talking about something different.
No, hold on.
He supports the Trump administration, but he's talking about something different.
Hold on. Yes. So the Trump administration, which is odd because Trump's in the real estate game, right? That's where he made most of his money, right? In the hospitality game, that's where he made most of his money. Right? And of course, those are industries that have historically low wages and have exploited immigrant labor, right? And in fact, but who doesn't get those jobs, right? And instead of having an orderly, controlled border, right, that allows X number of people in the country every year, we've had an open door policy. And then Joe Biden's administration just said, hey, everybody, come on, right? Putting a lot of Americans in danger. Right? The Obama administration with their mass influx from the Arabic world, right? We've had protests recently in Michigan where people there's videos floating around where they're cheering the Ayatollah, cheering Iran, and chanting, America.
I saw that in New York that there was a crowd of them cheering on the Ayatollah in Iran.
Right. Well, also cheering to destroy the West.
Remind me of some white protests I've seen in America.
I know, Cornell. I know. It's
where they cheer on.
Despite committing such a small amount of
Hitler.
crime. Well, yes, let's talk about 100 years ago and how
white
conservatives are the greatest threat.
No. This is recently.
Let's talk about this nonsense.
Have you gone to some Trump rallies where they waving Confederate flags?
Okay.
And the things that come out their mouth?
I was never a Trump supporter. You are.
No, baby. I'm a policy supporter.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, just a little close to the truth.
I'm a policy supporter.
But here's the thing.
And that ain't the policy.
It's not middle-class conservative white guys that are threatening America, right? We can make believe that the Biden administration, everybody can make believe.
Have you seen these white militia members?
Okay. Right. Have you seen
a white guy tried to kill Trump?
Have you seen
a white guy killed Charlie Kirk? A white guy tried to kill him here recently. A white guy just got sentenced for trying to kill Trump in Florida. These are all white boys trying to kill Donald Trump.
When you look at the percentage representation of criminal acts, right? You always want to steer to stuff. What I'm talking about right now is immigrants, right? And immigrants that come to this country and hate this country don't need to be here. Period. If you come to this country as an immigrant and you are chanting down with America and burn with America, Muhammad Khalil, right? We're all told, oh, this poor Columbia student. No. He hates the West. He hates America. He's talked about it has to be destroyed.
He doesn't hate the West.
He said it.
He hates America's foreign policy.
I know. He's Muslim. You got to stick up for him.
Foreign policy.
No. When you advocate for destruction of the West, you should not be allowed to stay. And what the point Charles Barkley's made is that we used to have the majority of immigrants coming to this country, right, were people of all races that came here to build a better life, right?
I disagree with some of that, though.
Came to this country to help build this country.
Help build. There you go.
And to build better lives for themselves
and
their families, right?
Because I disagree with Charles Barkley said the immigrants built America.
What we have now...
Immigrants ain't built America.
Believe me, I know.
Free labor from black slaves built America. Then everybody else came in and built off of what we built for free.
Let's try to stay on task.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
We're talking about building America.
So at the end of the day, in the last 160 years, Quanell, at the end of the day, what you have is now you have tons of people. When you look at the numbers of like Somali migrants that will hate this country, but more importantly, are on the dole. Somali migrants engaged in graft, right? Somali migrants who falsified documents to get in this country, right? I was reading this morning about a migrant, a boat migrant in the United Kingdom who was allowed to stay because he claimed to be gay, right? And then he brought his...
You know, that happened before,
He brought his 2 wives.
During the Cuban Missile
Crisis.
And
all these kids.
During the Cuban Missile Crisis, that same thing happened.
I mean, at some point, what we have to say is, you know what, if you come to this country because you want to be a parasite, you're going to have to leave.
But what about the good people?
If you come, I know exactly, but here's the thing.
What about a kid being zip tied at 5 years old?
We make it so
Everybody
hard.
in America saw that little boy zip tied, his daddy handcuffed.
Okay. Absolutely.
The 5-year-old child zip tied. We saw this.
But the narrative
this
on that
is America.
ignored the fact that the dad ran off and left the kid.
But why in the hell would you zip tie a 5-year-old kid?
It's insane.
Come on,
right? But here's the thing. That dad was a criminal. Right?
So you zip tie a 5-year-old?
No, you don't. But you remove the criminal. You see, that's the real disconnect, right? Is we engage in this mythology where we act like criminals aren't criminal. Oh, I agree.
But you had the principal standing there saying, I'll take the 5-year-old student with me and keep him till the family comes.
Okay, that obviously is a problem, right? But we let the problem get so out of control. We have all these sanctuary cities that were applauded.
What about the cop who was arrested?
That overstayed a visa and lied on his application?
Cop.
Right, you can't lie on applications.
No, he was in the process of getting everything correct and waiting on a court date. He wasn't running hot. He was a cop.
No.
Putting his life on line every day for American citizens.
He got a court date because
what about
he got
the school
exposed.
board member who got picked up and he's a member of the school? School superintendent.
You mean
the school superintendent who got picked up?
Do you mean the criminal?
Oh my
that
God!
That had hid all the felonies he committed?
Charles.
Yeah, he got picked up because he was a felon. That somehow a felon. How did this felon become a school superintendent? Oh, I guess we're not doing background checks. He was an illegal immigrant, a multiple felon. Yes. Great, he got deported. We need to make it easier. Okay, let's talk about Jamaica. If you go to Jamaica and talk to actual Jamaicans, get off resorts and stuff and talk to them, they would love to come to America. Every Jamaican that I know, the actual working class Jamaican person works 3-4 jobs. The resorts make them sign contracts preventing them from working multiple jobs. It's a tragedy what Britain did. They just kept all the nice land and left the Jamaicans there, right? But Jamaicans can't just walk across the border, right? They apply for visas, and it's almost impossible. It is almost impossible for working class people to lawfully come in this country, and that's the problem. And in fact, you look at it, God, it was a city, it's going to come to me in a minute, but there was a municipality, I think it was Austin, right, was asking for an H-1B visa for an employee, which means they can't find a qualified American for a job paying $135,000 a year. Right? Of course they could find a qualified American in Austin, right? Of course they could.
Wow.
We have all these corporations
What was the job
and
for?
all these left-leaning
Have you
governments.
been to Austin lately?
I go to Austin all the time.
It ain't what Austin used to be, brother.
Austin's a wonderful city.
I mean, it look like California now.
Okay, I love Austin.
Look like California.
Okay.
I like Austin too, but it ain't what it used to be, brother.
It's still a wonderful city. It has far less problems than Houston, but it's got problems, mostly born by progressivism. But the H-1B visas are making it impossible for young college graduates and Americans to get jobs because it's being abused by corporate America that wants to overpay people. Legitimate people that want to, poor working class people that want to lawfully immigrate this country, it's impossible, right? So we're incentivizing people entering illegally, we're incentivizing people being on the dole, and we're not doing anything to people that come here and get credit. Well, obviously, the wealthy people like Trump in that industry, but here's the thing.
Hello, let's keep it real.
Here's the thing, and of course the Democrats for votes.
Who wanted new voters because they was losing black voters, so they had to replace the losing black votes with a whole new vote.
More lawful migration.
Sherry's the best time in daytime.
Don't get in the way of my fun.
I know that's right.
Weekday mornings at 11 on Fox 26.
At Ashley Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, score huge deals throughout the store and save up to 25% on your entire purchase. And no interest for 5 years when you shop in store. But hurry, these deals are only here April 2nd through the 4th. Only at Ashley.
Texans know who to call when they're hurt big. But don't be fooled by those insurance mascots.
Jim Adler. The League of Insurance is here to deny your claim.
Deny this.
The battle continues. If you've been hurt big, you need to put the big hurt back on them. Call the Texas Hammer today.
Title Max got your money, your real money.
Get started at TitleMax.com and turn your title into real money.
I got $2,500 with TitleMax.com.
Most credit types accepted.
I got $8,700 from TitleMax.com.
All makes and models welcome. Visit TitleMax.com today to find out how much you can get and get your title back with TitleMax.
I got my title back with TitleMax.
Get your title back with TitleMax.
Welcome to Houston. At Legacy Community Health, we go beyond basic care. For us, that means affordable pharmacies, free prescription delivery, nationally ranked prenatal and maternity care, pediatric, primary care, and mental health experts, with locations across Greater Houston. Learn more at lch.org.
Spring is here, and so are the savings. It's the spring clearance event at American Furniture Warehouse, and this is your moment to refresh for less. But don't wait. These prices are here for a limited time only. Markdowns on sofas, sectionals, bedroom sets, dining room furniture, and more for hundreds less than you'll find anywhere else. Our huge warehouses are full of the items you need, so you can buy and take it home or have it delivered with our Platinum Delivery Service straight to your door. Visit our showrooms or shop online at afw.com.
At Ashley Spring Savings Event 72-hour sale, score huge deals throughout the store with select spring styles starting at just $4.99 and no interest for 5 years when you shop in store. But hurry, these deals are only here April 2nd through the 4th. Only at Ashley.
Arrested him and his mother, accusing her of failing to supervise her son.
Tonight, we have an update on the case. The boy was sentenced to 4 years, and a judge found his mom not guilty. And we want to warn you, the images of the victim's injuries are disturbing.
This is Joe Kelly. In September of 2024, this was Joe Kelly. A trip to New Orleans to visit his son, a student at Tulane, left him toothless, beaten and bruised with a severe concussion.
The kids just started, descended upon me, pushed me, and then one kid just started punching me in the face. And I was knocked unconscious for a while, and I don't even remember how long I was out cold.
His son watched while the group of teens beat up his dad.
He just had to stand there and watch his dad getting beaten to a bloody pulp.
Kelly says it happened around 10 o'clock at night after the French Quarter curfew for juveniles. Police not only arrested a 16-year-old for the beating, but they arrested his mother for failing to supervise him. At the time, the teen was wearing an electronic ankle monitor. He was out on bond after allegedly beating up another tourist a few months prior, leaving him with a severe head injury.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
Now, this is a local New Orleans story that is not going national for obvious narrative reasons, but it involves a group of men that, and this story's from a couple days ago when he was sentenced, but a group of teenagers, young men, that were notoriously prowling the tourist areas of New Orleans in 2024, attacking just older white men walking down the road. Walking, in Canal Street and Bourbon Street and all that. And beating them viciously. Most of the time the kids got away. In this instance, this was a kid that was arrested for doing it once, and while wearing a monitor, did it again. Now, I disagree with, I think that father was being rather charitable to his son. I think a college-age son should have jumped in to try to help his dad, even if it meant beating himself, but I don't want to judge any victim. But at the end of the day, right, if this would have been the converse, Quanell, if this had been the converse and happened 100 years ago, I'd have heard it from you 50 times on this show. But if this had been the converse, Quanell, it would have been headline news on every major publication and news and everywhere, right? And it's indicative of this two-tiered double standard, right? And then a lot of the outrage was driven from the media story was about the arrest of the mom. Like, how dare they arrest the mom for the criminal acts of her son. Okay, but
no knowledge, any of it.
Well, actually, she did, right?
No, that's not true. That's
hold on.
That judge acquitted her.
Hold on.
Because he knew it was a BS charge.
No. Okay, first of all, you can't say she had no knowledge if he was wearing an ankle monitor and released. So in Louisiana,
he's 16.
When in Louisiana, right, he's a child.
So she can't make him stay if he want to leave.
But the thing is, yes, you can.
A 16-year-old boy.
In fact, you signed orders of release.
A woman is going to stop a 16-year-old boy from leaving the house if he wants to leave.
You don't get a bail, like you don't get bond conditions as a juvenile. You get orders of release, right? And your parent has to agree that I'm going to do these certain things. And if you don't do them, the parent, and there was no evidence to suggest that I've seen, it might have been in the court, but the parent has an affirmative duty to say, hey, he's gone. He's not a bang.
I know she didn't do that.
Well, no, she might have. Well, more importantly, also look at New Orleans. I mean, he had an ankle monitor on. He was out after curfew. He had a curfew as well. So I think her defense to prosecution was most likely, well, look, juvenile probation wasn't doing what they're supposed to do either.
Probably so.
But clearly, hey, let's be honest.
So you agree with charging the mother?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hell no.
That's
a very slippery slope when you're going to start prosecuting parents for the crimes that their teenage children commit that they have no knowledge of and are not involved with.
Here's the thing, real quick. How many kids do you have? 4?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. None of those kids would have ever done this crap.
But guess what? My son wouldn't have stood there and watched me get my
I know he would.
My son wouldn't have stood there and watched me.
Absolutely.
And let me tell you something, sir. Your son, you should have got up when you got well. You should have whooped your son. Because if my son either one of my boys had stood there and watched me get my, and he was forced to stand there and watch. Are you out your mind?
Well, I mean, there's also. I mean,
you gonna keep hanging with your son?
You wanna. You
gonna keep hanging with your son?
You want to defend the mother without any knowledge. Obviously, she did a horrible job raising that kid.
Well, we don't know.
No, we do know. He'd already done it once, and he was out doing it again.
No,
she did an awful job.
I've seen.
See, that's the whole thing.
I've seen good parents have some bad kids.
I've
seen some good parents.
You might have seen some wealthy parents or middle class
and
parents
have some bad kids.
Pretend, but for the most part, it's apple tree. So that is how it works.
So you agree his son had to stand there and watch?
No, I don't. But here's the thing.
Couldn't call me on my birthday.
Hold on.
You better not come on for Christmas.
Hold on.
Show up for Thanksgiving time and give me a piece of turkey.
If I was getting jumped, I think it was like 9 guys, and my son was there, I'd have told my son to leave.
This was 2.
Okay. No, it wasn't 2 guys.
Yeah, it was 2 young men.
No.
It was 2 young men that were arrested.
Hey,
I think it was 2 that arrested, right?
2 that arrested. The rest got away. You should actually read for comprehension.
The 2 whooped him.
You should. No. A bunch ran off, right? Maybe.
So if you and your daddy there, I don't give a damn if it's 4 or 5 of them.
Okay, no, I agree. But if my son was there,
if you was there, I wouldn't stand there watching that.
I wouldn't either. But if I was fighting 10 guys, I'd have told my son to go get the police. We don't know what he did.
No,
right?
we gonna get him afterwards.
Okay, look.
Because guess what? I mean, we gonna squab. We gonna swing until the damn crowd come. Pardon my French.
I mean, let's be real. If we were out here in Texas and 10 people jumped us, I would just shoot a couple of them and end it. I mean, that's just, But the thing is, we're not hearing about the story on a national level because it was black teenagers mercilessly and repeatedly targeting in a hate crime. Wasn't prosecuted for a hate crime. Targeting and attacking white people.
They were going after white people.
Yes, they admitted it.
Because they're white.
No, the kid admitted it.
They were going after tourists.
No,
they were going after tourists.
He admitted that he was looking for old white men to beat up.
You believe that?
Yes, and we don't hear about it
looking
because
for
it's
vulnerable
white
tourists.
people. Because we're told.
Well, you got black folks who've been robbed in New Orleans.
Only white people are racist.
But you got black folks touring New Orleans who've been robbed. You got black folks touring from other
They
cities
didn't rob them.
that go to New Orleans.
They were
been
just
robbed.
beating
That's
them up.
not true.
It was a
they
hate
robbed
crime.
black ones
And
too.
you don't hear about it anywhere but here because it's white
We have been to
victims,
New Orleans.
black racism.
We've been to the French
We
Quarter.
don't talk about black racism.
We know what comes to the ground.
This is a paid advertisement for legal services. Dramatization. William Shatner, paid spokesperson for Smith & Hassler, Houston, Texas.
Did he lose his shirt?
So that's what it means to lose your shirt.
I guess deny and delay didn't work today.
Do you think they made him pay triple?
Who's the law firm?
The law offices of Smith & Hassler.
Call 1-800-WIN-WIN-1. Smith & Hassler. Right now.
With Popeye's new $5 fave menu, you can get this, or this, or this, or this. And no one's stopping you from getting them all. Now there's an idea.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
How did you do this? I'll show you.
The whole park now runs off Xfinity. The network can self-heal too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Something even smarter than Alan?
I don't think so. Yeah, he's pretty smart. Yeah.
A whole new species of Wi-Fi at the same price for 5 years.
Reliant is the home of free electricity, so your home can be the home of epic bedtime stories. Beginning with the Flex Your Credits electricity plan, which gives you your 2 highest use days free every week automatically. And for a plot twist, you also get $200 in bill credits for even more savings.
Call 1-866-RELIANT or scan the code to learn more.
The Flex Your Credits electricity plan from Reliant. That's power. Your way.
You ever feel like your money is just lying around? Welcome to Huntington, a bank that believes we should all get more from money. Like a path to turn all those late nights into beach days, sunscreen Noel, and a nudge when you've got enough for the GOAT without wiping out the groceries. And anything to make life easier for all you small business owners. We see you, Dad. Banking isn't just checking and saving. It's about getting more for money. Huntington Bank.
On the Jennifer Hudson Show, there's a lot to love. Did it hit your spirit?
Right in the shine on nine.
The biggest stars.
Clock it.
Mariah Carey!
At all these years now, you're still killing it.
Incredible performances. You got them going. Inspiring stories.
Connection has no color. It's my brother.
You are loved.
I'm about to cry.
Don't you just love this joy? I hope y'all feel the love.
Weekdays at 10 on Fox 26. Carolina Sanchez and Anthony Antoine want you to become soccer savvy.
The whole globe is going to be watching, right?
Tune in and become an expert just in time for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Houston Soccer HQ, now streaming on the Fox local app.
Get stronger with free fitness training at Planet Fitness. Join for 1 cent down, $15 a month. No commitment. Deal ends Friday, April 10th.
Coming soon to Maplewood.
This month, the madness begins, and we're swishing $25 into your account. And all you have to do is sign up on FanDuel Predicts. And just like that, you can trade the tournament. First, choose your market. Then take a position on the spread, total points, or the winning team. Then place your trade and follow the action live. Let the madness begin on FanDuel Predicts. Sign up now for your $25 bonus.
Welcome to Houston, a city full of life. Affordable pharmacies, free prescription delivery, expert care for every stage of life. Because everyone deserves more than basic care.
We're here to deny your claim. Jim Adler, why are you such a pain in my policy?